So here we are up at Lakeport, California at my new shop. This is not the secret shop. This is a place of business downtown Lakeport, California. So we are taking and doing the next steps on Wide Red. So I'm working with Chris still on a lot of the advisement of the next things that we're doing to this car and looking at wiring first, putting things in it that have more creature comforts like wiper motor and sound system, lighting on the inside, working turn signals. It's amazing that this car did not have things like that. But the fact of the matter is that we're going to take and put in a whole new wiring harness. We found that it was wired much like a race car and had very basic wiring. Decided to put a whole new wiring harness in it from Summit Racing, which is the American Autowire. So this should be able to take and simplify my installation. Chris was the one that pointed out that they have a fuse block that is unwired with all the components pre-wired. So you run it through the car from where the item that's going to be used, so like the headlights, and then you route it back to the fuse block, and the fuse block will then take the terminals. It comes with the screwdriver and all the components, so it should take and simplify my installation, giving this thing all the power and creature comforts that we want in this car. So, and simplicity. And it comes with pre-done wiring diagrams so that if there's ever a problem, you can literally just look up the wiring diagram specified for this kit. So from Summit Racing, it was here in a day. And so this is going to make my life a lot easier and get us one step closer to getting Wide Red on the road. So this is the reason we decided to go with the wiring harness. So this is our brake signal and tail lights. So these are the only wires that run back to the tail light scenario. And then they come through here and are just butt spliced or spliced in. I mean, this is decent for a race car, but not for a street car. And then it goes up and around and tucked under here, zip tied to metal with nothing to protect the wires. The other little things on this is that it was put together with wood screws. And if you look within this taillight housing, they used just like a tractor trailer taillight in here, and literally loose, put in by wood screws, trimmed by a dull beaver, and just kind of set loose in here. So I'm looking at solutions now that would put brake and turn and tail more in a traditional sense, but using all LEDs. I mean, this wasn't a horrible idea, but definitely a horrible execution, especially when you go and spend so much money on an anti-gravity battery, but then wire in trailer lights. So these are all things that we're going to take and address. And with the American Autowire harness, we're able to take and go run all the components through the tail to the tail lights in a nice wiring harness that goes up through the car in a good, safe manner for the wiring harness. So here again, this is another reason why we decided to go with the wiring harness, mostly because of this chaos. And a lot of the chaos right here is due to the fact of how they did the grounding. A lot of the components aren't grounded to the chassis at the point of use, but they all kind of run back to this ground scenario, this single point ground that is then tied to ground, but it runs very small narrow gauge wire. So like the fans is just one of these wires running dual fans through a relay. So it has high powered 12 volts running to them via two separate cables running two separate fans, but then is only grounded with one single narrow gauge ground that loops through the car back to here. So these are reasons why we've decided to take and go with a wiring harness. And this can all be concealed, put into looms, and done under the dash, behind the dash instead of under the dash. And this just makes it down here, makes it just really hard to troubleshoot right here. So I'm laying on my back upside down and backwards to get you this video, which if you had to troubleshoot, that's what you would have to do. And there's just like miscellaneous things, like there's like 12-volt power source over here on funny brackets tied to things with washers, and I'm going to take and try and straighten all that up. So, yeah, here we go. So this is another thing that showed up yesterday. This is a new wiper motor and wiper motor transmission. So this has everything that we are missing on wide red for the wiper motor. So it should be a pretty complete package. And this is packaged up pretty nice. Yeah, even sealed on both ends. So they did a really good sealing this up. I'm going to fully unpackage this, but this should give us everything to put a wiper and wipers motor onto wide red. So the transmission, I mean, it even came with the wiper arms and blades, which I'll replace out and put new ones on, but it will give us all the little wiring harness and things that I can wire to with the American Autowire. Oh yes, this is going to be a really nice setup. It even came with the wiper motor delay and all the little wires, a full length of wires. So I will be able to wire to this. It has all the mechanisms and clips and all the little washers and nuts to engage this with the body. So this will save me a lot of time rather than hunting around for that. This came as a turnkey thing from eBay. There's more to come on this car. We're going to be doing fiberglass and paint and body work on the car, eliminating the Zeus fasteners and kind of fixing some of the loose fiberglass issues and cracked fiberglass, and rubbing wheels on inner tire lips, and also addressing wheels and tires. Wheels, we're going to take and try and really figure out on keeping these wheels, but with a little bit of an update and hopefully new Toyos. And I hope this is a good update for everyone who's been following Wide Red. And then for the people who have not seen this, I'm going to give you a link down to Chris's channel, which documents the point that it was bought on Bring a Trailer to the point it is now. And so thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.